Maninder, these are days where you look at that fan energy and you think, what would our game be without these fans?
Absolutely, there's no doubt about it. I think, cricketers are what they are because of the fans that they have. Yeah. And I think in India, you've got plenty of them. And that is why we always keep talking about whenever we say that the cricket lovers in India, they put a lot of pressure on the Indian boys. And by now, these Indian boys know how to handle that pressure and give results. And I think this T20 team has actually proved that they are one of the best units in T20 cricket world around. The best part about this team is they enjoy each other's performance. And when you see them on the field, they look like a unit, which is very important, because when you're playing a team game and if it starts looking like a unit, then you know that they are the best in the world and they prove it.
Let's look at this final. On final day, big day, India don't just win, it's a massive margin of 96 runs. Is it also a sign or a hallmark of a good team that come the big occasion, they come up with their best cricket?
Obviously, it's a big moment for Team India and for all of us, since we are all cricket fan and I've been a former cricketer, nothing can give me more happiness than seeing Team India winning the way they have won this tournament. It's outstanding, and this is going to go a long way. The kind of cricket Team India have played, brilliant, outstanding. I don't really have words, but I can only say, this is something really special they have achieved. And, the way they have played, this message will go for a long way forward, that this is the new way Team India will play. Bold and look to dominate whenever they walk onto the field.
I think, Harbhajan, you're speaking for all of us when you say that you're short on words, because how do you really put into words what we've just witnessed? I invite you a similar question, what I asked Harbhajan. It's the big final. And two good teams have reached there. You expect a close contest. How do I describe this? Is this a win or is it a hammering?
Oh, hammering, because in T20 cricket, if you win by say 25-30 runs, you say it's a big win, or you win by by say 4 wickets in hand or whatever it is, you still call it a big win. So clearly, I think this hammering, when you won by so many runs, that is a massive hammering that India gave New Zealand.
Maninder, what do you reckon? As I said, big finals, and before the final started, we were all discussing pressure, 130,000 people in the stadium. There will be pressure of not just being the favorites, the pressure of performing in front of a packed house. And the way this Indian team has performed, it kind of tells you that they have nerves of steel, I guess.
That's exactly what we spoke about, that these boys know how to handle the pressure, which is very important because, there's so many Indians, millions of them, expecting these boys to win trophies all the time. But the best part about this team is, we would talk about that, they look like a unit on the field, but they're fearless cricketers as well. And a lot of credit goes to the coaches we've had in the past and now. Gautam Gambhir. I think it's very important that the coaches, the coaching staff, they make these boys realize that they can play the kind of cricket that they played. If they play fearlessly, that is what is required in T20 cricket, and that's exactly what they've done. I mean, they did get a wake-up call when they lost to South Africa with a big margin, but they got it at the right time, and look at what happened after that. I mean, they just kept dominating. That is what they were doing before the South Africa loss, and that is what they did after they lost to the South African team. So I think sometimes a wake-up call is also very important because you could become complacent, but this team never became complacent after that loss against South Africa.
The one word that is being used by most of our experts in this broadcast is dominant. Harbhajan said it, Maninder is saying that too. And that takes me to the next question, and I'll put this to Harbhajan. India already the defending champions, so they're world champions in that sense. So they go into this tournament also as the favorites. Yet, the way this team has been playing under Surya Yadav, I'm not just talking about this tournament, not just about this particular final, but in the last year and a half, is it fair to say that this is probably the best T20 team ever assembled?
See, let's not compare eras. Every era have different players, different vibe altogether. This team, obviously, what they have achieved is phenomenal. They have set new limits uh, to how they can play this format and how it should be played. When we started in 2007, we had no clue about this format. And to be honest, those days 140, 150, 160 was a winning total. If you score those many runs, you know that you can defend. And now, if you score 180, 200, those are still checkable scores. So this team have taken the game to a different level altogether, scoring back to back 250 odd runs, in the semis and the finals. Goes on to shows that they mean business. They understand this format better than the others, and they are far ahead than the others. And let's not compare them with Dhoni's team or Rohit's team or anybody's team, but it is all our teams, and we are glad that the journey where we started from, and it is that legacy is going forward and going great. The boys have taken the role, and they have taken Indian cricket on a serious heights.
No, no, I completely agree with what you say, Harbhajan. It is not Dhoni's team or Rohit's team or Surya Kumar Yadav's team. I think it's all our team, right? It's the Indian team, and we are all very proud of this particular Indian team. But Maninder, you know what my point was, and what I'm trying to get at is, it's not about how does it compare to an MS Dhoni's team. I think MS Dhoni's team played the T20 cricket that the times at that time dictated. And then, of course, Rohit Sharma's team played the kind of T20 cricket the times at that time wanted. My point is that, just like in, let's say, 100 meters, you had a Jesse Owens, then Carl Lewis, then Usain Bolt. Every one of those world champions kept going faster and faster. In that sense, is this Indian team playing at a level which is a level or two above what we had seen in T20 cricket prior to this?
Yes, I believe so. I believe so. And that is why I keep giving a lot of credit to the coaches, the coaching staff, to Surya Kumar Yadav, because it's the captains who make a very important, who play a very important role in guiding the boys, because Surya Kumar Yadav has got a lot of experience behind him. Gautam Gambhir, I know him from under 16 days when I used to umpire, and at that time also, he would play every game, a local game, to win. So I think he's got that habit, and he's making these boys realize that this is the best habit to have, to win and win with authority, and that is exactly what this team is doing. So I think, yes, this is the best unit of T20 cricket in world cricket, and I think the best T20 team India has had. I mean, we've had leaders before who have shown us the way, but Surya Kumar Yadav has really taken it way ahead.
Yeah, I think the biggest testament to the level at which this Indian team is operating is the fact that, remember, in a semi-final, all-important semi-final, they get a record total 253. All-important final, they get a record total of 255. I know a lot of people are talking about the flat nature of pitches, but the flat nature of those pitches were available to all teams. New Zealand also were batting. In fact, many said batting will get better in the second innings, but it is your bowling that ensured, and then your batting by getting 20, 30, 40, dare I say even 50 runs more than the par total. That is what has ensured that you won by 96 runs. And by that is what I mean. The Indian team is really pushing that bar. Saibhai, to you, two back-to-back World Cup wins. That's a fact that's not escaping us. The first ever team to defend their T20 World Cup crown. What does that tell you about the health of Indian T20 cricket?
It tells you that Indian cricket is in very good hands. When you look at the performance through the IPL, I think the IPL has been instrumental in giving India so many players, not just in the T20 format, but in all the formats. And you can see the results of that. There are so many players who could have made it into the 11, but were unable to. But if they were available, if you had a situation where other countries could say, okay, you're not picking these guys, can we borrow them? Can we borrow them to play for us? There would be so many who other countries would have taken in their playing 11. So this is the strength of Indian cricket. India could well have fielded maybe 2 or 3 teams in this tournament.
Okay, Harbhajan, there were many good performers for this Indian team, and because we're talking about them being one of the best teams ever assembled, it can only happen if you've got multiple match winners. And I think this tournament is the best example of that. We had multiple match winners win you games on different occasions. But if you were to pick the player of the tournament, it's a tough one. I know there are 2, 3 good contenders there. If you had to pick the player of the tournament, who would you pick?
Well, I think I would give it to Sanju Samson, especially for his last 3 innings. Last 3 games, knockout games against West Indies, and then semi-final against England, and now against New Zealand. It goes on to show that those 3 important matches, and he stood up for Team India and scored heavily. For Team India, I think his best inning was still, I would say, on that sluggish pitch in Kolkata, where he went on to score 97 and he was making a comeback, scored, brilliantly for Team India. I think that was a pitch where, for a new batter, it would have been difficult to chase, but he made it possible. He batted till the end and made sure that chase was not a difficult task for Team India. So I would give it to Sanju Samson.
Okay, Harbhajan is gone with Sanju. Sanju once again gets 89, but just the update that I'm getting right now. The man of the match for this game, no surprises there. Again, there was a contest between Jasprit Bumrah, Sanju Samson, because Sanju got the most, 89 runs. But the man of the match is Jasprit Bumrah. He gave away only 15 runs, picking up 4 wickets in this encounter. This time it's gone to Jasprit Bumrah. But Maninder, same question to you. I'm not asking about the player of the match. I think that also is a 50-50 call. But player of the tournament, there's Jasprit Bumrah, there is Sanju Samson. I guess there is a Hardik Pandya somewhere lurking behind. There is a Akshar Patel too. It's not an easy choice.
Well, I think Sanju Samson would be my choice. I would vote for him because, the kind of, like Harbhajan said, the innings that he played, 97 in Kolkata, then 89, and important matches. So it was very important to get those starts in these important matches, and Sanju Samson, he showed the maturity. And the best part is he wasn't scoring runs just for himself. He was making those partnerships which are very important. Like he had today, he had those 2 partnerships with Abhishek Sharma and Ishan Kishan. That is also very important. It really matters how you handle that pressure, how you take the game forward. And Sanju Samson, I think he's way ahead of all the players, I think, in this tournament. So for my player of the tournament, it's him.
Sanju Samson says Maninder Singh as well. Saibhai, I want to ask you about the pitches as well. But before that, I'll also ask you the same question that we're discussing. The player of the tournament, if you had to pick one, who are you going with?
I think it's going to be a close call between Sanju Samson and Jasprit Bumrah. Very close call. Even with Akshar Patel not too far behind. I know Akshar didn't get too many opportunities with the bat, but whenever he bowled, he's bowled well. And the fielding in the semi-final against England was absolutely top class.
Oh, we're talking about the player of the tournament. One player who will not be in contention of that is going to be Captain Surya Yadav. But I guess what? At the moment, if you ask Sky, that you're not in contention on one of the highest run getters or any of that sort, but you are getting to hold a World Cup trophy, I think he'll take that. He'll say, give me the World Cup trophy. I really don't care about player of the tournament or the highest run getter or not. And that's my next question. Harbhajan, I'll throw this one to you. For Surya Yadav as well, there were big shoes that he had to fill. That of Rohit Sharma, who had won the title. When you come in after a title-winning campaign, everyone expects the title from you as well. What's the kind of legacy that Sky leaves behind as captain now?
Well, obviously, it's a proud moment for Surya Kumar Yadav, and I'm really happy for him and also for each and every member of the team. No captain is bigger than the team. As I always mention, you're as good as your team is. So he's fortunate to have such good players in his team, likes of Sanju, Abhishek, Ishan Kishan in form. and Hardik Pandya and Dubey, Akshar, Jasprit Bumrah. He's got all the match winners in his team, and he himself is a big match winner. Obviously, being a leader, being a captain, he's done a great job to put this team together for 1.5 year. This is how they wanted to play cricket and dominate the oppositions, and they have clearly showed, whatever they tried in one and a half or 2 years back, when this campaign started under Surya Kumar Yadav. They have definitely worked hard to get to this level, and today is a celebration day for him and for all his close one who made this team. And of course, this legacy will be carried forward by someone who will be taking over him maybe whenever time comes. But he's done a great job for Team India as a captain.
Right. Sanjay, to you on this one, I could see right after the victory, Surya Kumar Yadav feeling very relieved, then, picking up that soil from the pitch, putting it on his forehead as a mark of respect. This is also a culmination of something that he had started a year and a half back, eventually getting his hands on the cup that he so desired.
Well, he's such a calm, cool, collected captain, isn't he? Pretty much in the vogue of Rohit Sharma. Always smiling, always positive in his attitude, in his approach, and the way he's handled situation, despite the fact that he didn't have just quite the outstanding skills that many hoped he would have. He started off by saving India from an awkward situation against the USA, scoring 84 not out when India was 77 for I think 60 thereabouts. And then after that didn't quite get the runs. But his leadership was beyond reproach, beyond question. He was clearly the leader, and that you could see that everybody in the team looked up to him, was very fond of him, and wanted to do that little bit extra for him.
That's a very interesting point that Mr. Gavaskar makes. Maninder, he says leader. And I've heard Surya Kumar Yadav say this previously as well. We refer to the captain as sometimes skipper or the captain as I just mentioned. But Surya Kumar Yadav quite often used to come into press conference I have attended and he said, listen, I want to be a leader. What is the difference between a skipper and a leader? And if he was indeed the leader, did he do his job in that sense of inspiring his team to that title?
Did a job brilliantly, because he wasn't scoring runs himself. He wasn't scoring runs consistently. And, sometimes you go into that zone where you start thinking that how do I start getting runs? I'm being criticized for not scoring runs, still being the captain of the Indian team. And then to handle these boys, it's not very easy. And I think he's done that brilliantly. And the best thing about him is that smile on his face. That's very important for a leader. He's very calm on the field. If his bowlers are going for runs, he'll go and talk to them, but you never see him shouting at his boys, which Maninder Singh Dhoni also used to do. Very rarely did we see Maninder Singh Dhoni shouting at his bowlers or telling them that they're bowling the wrong line. But Surya Kumar Yadav, he's a different fish in the pond anyway. He keeps smiling all the time. This is how I've seen him since 2011-12, and this is how he's remained. And that is very important, to calm the boys down, whatever situation you are in. Because after that South Africa loss, this team could have gone anywhere. But it is that leader, Surya Kumar Yadav, who kept them together, who kept the atmosphere good. I mean, let's give credit to Gautam Gambhir and his team as well, the coaching staff. They must have done a wonderful job as well to keep these boys on their toes and make them realize what they're made of. But Surya Kumar Yadav, hats off to him, because he wasn't performing consistently, still got the team to win, still got the team to perform consistently.
Interesting comparison that you make about Surya Kumar Yadav and MS Dhoni, calm, collective. I think in that sense, he's a bit of a Rohit Sharma and a bit of a MS Dhoni. Calm as MS Dhoni, but has that nonchalant, sense of humor that comes along with a Rohit Sharma. So a good mix of an MS Dhoni and Rohit Sharma. In terms of personality, of course, they're all very different captains tactically, but in terms of personality, I think he's a very good mix of the two previous captains that have gone on to win the T20 World Cup. So there is another common thread that runs across these three captains that have lifted the T20 World Cup trophy for India. Harbhajan, Sunil Gavaskar, Maninder Singh, all still with us. Harbhajan, one common factor that everyone was discussing ahead of this game was the match at the Motera Stadium in Ahmedabad. Everyone was nervous. Nervous for good reason, because we went into that 2023 final with so much hope as the favourites, just like today, and then you faltered. And then in this tournament, you played only one game there, and then you lost. So I can't really blame the fans for being a bit nervous, a bit reluctant about India's performance. At the end of the day, fair to say that those bad memories have been wiped off now?
Yeah, see, a lot of people talk about Eden as well. Eden didn't have the best of the record, but somewhere down the line it got to change. And luckily, in our era, we could manage to do that. We started winning at the Eden, and we kind of changed that concept. What people were thinking, playing in Eden is always, difficult one, and India always lose the match there. So a lot of people talk about this stadium as well in Ahmedabad. If the game is happening there, India might lose, but it has got nothing to do with the cricketers or with the result of the game. It is the mindset of those people. They have never played cricket, and they feel that way. I think when two good teams plays against each other, one has to win and one will obviously lose. Other day India played against Australia. Of course, Australia was a better team on that particular day. Throughout the tournament, India was unbeatable team, and suddenly comes the final, and Australia, they have better hand. So I think in this game, it goes on to show if you put your right foot forward. I mean, to do everything right from ball one, you will get what result you want. So I think that is also done and dusted now. Whatever people used to think that this ground is a panoti or whatsoever, what I've heard on social media, this is only for those people who never played the game, who spread such kind of negativity. Ground have nothing to do with the result. It is the players, how well they play on that particular day. So I'm so glad our team could manage to do that. Now at least people will start saying Ahmedabad is also a winning ground for us.
Absolutely, and one reason why you have such big games there is the fact that it's got a massive capacity there, and for big games, everyone wants a ticket. In fact, even with 130,000 people being accommodated in Ahmedabad, still you are short on tickets. That's how much there is love for cricket amongst Indian fans. So that's one of the reasons why the games happen there. And as you said correctly, this is a day everyone will forget. 19th November, 8th March is the new day everyone will remember, because that's the day India has lifted that T20 World Cup trophy. The other talking point, Sanjay, to you on this one, Gautam Gambhir. See, he's had a mixed bag of a time as coach with the Indian team. He's come in for criticism as well when India have faltered in test matches and on occasions in ODI cricket too. But look at the tournaments that he's won. Won the Asia Cup as coach, now the T20 World Cup winning coach. So when you criticize him for sometime tactical errors or team's poor performance, then I think he deserves all the credit today after India has lifted the cup.
Oh, definitely, yes. Because I mean, if you're pointing a finger at him and the team doesn't do well, when the team does well, you've got to give him credit. No, it can't be just one way, that only when the team fails that you look at the coach. But when the team does well, you look at the captain and the players. That is not the way to go about it. So clearly, yes, I think Gambhir deserves credit for what he's achieved with this team in white ball cricket. Look, 3 back-to-back titles he's won: the Champions Trophy, the Asia Cup, and now this one.
Maninder, you alluded to Gautam Gambhir and the coach that he is. My mind goes to Surya Yadav. Just on the eve of the final, he was asked a question about Gambhir, and he said, you know what, he's so involved with the team that maybe if you ask him today, he might just pad up, and if need be, will go out to bat. Does that really sum up the character that Gautam is?
It does, actually. This is what I know about Gautam Gambhir. He was a lovely cricketer, fabulous cricketer, and as I said earlier, that I know him from under 16 days, and he used to play to win every game then also. So that's basically his character. And whatever he does, he gets so involved that you just have to leave him alone. I mean, he's going to make mistakes. Everybody does make mistakes. He did one in this World Cup and rectified it straight away. I mean, you know, when he played Washington Sundar in place of Akshar Patel. But then in the next game, brought back Akshar Patel. And, you know, those smiles on Akshar Patel's face every time he went onto the field goes on to show that the coach and the captain have had a good word with him and given him that confidence that that was just that one-off game. You are our mainstay. He's the vice captain of the team as well. So I think it makes a lot of difference if you have a coach like Gautam Gambhir. I would really love to see him, win test matches as well now for India, because the last couple of series he's not done too well. And as you said, he's had the criticism as well. But he's somebody, you know, who takes criticism in a very positive manner as well. I mean, he works at his, whatever mistakes he's made or whatever faults he has, and he takes that criticism constructively, which is very important.
You spoke about, you know, one change that India made, one error they made, in fact, bringing in Washington for Akshar Patel. Also the fact, this is the final, and there were doubts over an Abhishek Sharma, should he continue or not. He goes on to play, gives you that start, gives you that 50. I'm sure if it was the captain, there was a contribution from the coach as well to ensure that you go with the winning combination.
Yeah, and I was listening to Abhishek Sharma after the game, and he said that, this team has given me a lot of confidence. They kept backing me even when I wasn't getting runs, and that is why probably today I could go and do what I like to do on a cricket field, like to dominate, and that is exactly what he does. And this is very important. When a player is not doing well, who you know is a match winner, and you keep backing them, you give them their confidence back. If you see Varun Chakravarti also, he's not bowled very well today, but he was also there in the team. So I think the team management has to get a lot of credit, for giving these boys that confidence that they needed when they were not in very good form and they performed for the country.
Sunil Gavaskar, Harbhajan Singh also with us. Sai, to you, one thing that we saw in the final is the pitch that was on offer. And my mind goes back to, again, those two encounters in Ahmedabad, which you lost, 2023 final, that lost to South Africa. And on those occasions, you got a bit of a tricky pitch, black soil pitch, which wasn't great or conducive to stroke making. Here, you played the semi-final on a good pitch, you played the final on a good pitch. Is there a lesson there then for Indian cricket that, good pitches, true pitches, that's the best sort of a scenario for this Indian batting lineup, because there's such good stroke makers. You give them a good pitch and no team can come even close to you. That's a lesson that can be taken forward.
Yes, because it's an all-round team. It's no longer top-heavy or bottom-heavy as we used to call it. It's an all-round team. It's got batting depth, it's got batting variety in batting in the sense that there are technical players, there are unorthodox players, there are innovative players, and then there are solid players. Similarly, in the bowling, there are attacking bowlers, there are defensive bowlers, there are bowlers who will try a little bit of magic and do something. So this means that you don't really need any external help. You have the talent to overcome any challenges. Yes, there will be a stumble now and again, which is part of sport. But yes, I think the variety, the depth that the Indian team, the balance that the Indian team has is something amazing.
Okay, Maninder, I know there is no place for ifs and buts in cricket, but I can't help but go back to, that final, 2023. That pitch was an absolute minefield. I just hope that we had a pitch like this at the same ground. That Indian team was on a roll in that tournament, didn't lose a single game. I don't think any other team would have come. I'm just trying to look back. This sort of a good batting pitch, and who knows, you'd probably even be the 50-over champions.
See, you've got to forget about this home advantage thing. You've got to put it in a basket now. Because, Indian boys, they're very talented boys, and if you play on good surfaces also, and if you believe in yourself like they did today, you're going to win big tournaments. So I think this home advantage thing has to be let out now, because we've seen the last two test matches, two test series also that we played, make turning tracks, and you couldn't play spin bowling yourself because the other teams came better prepared. So I think this is very important that the team management If they tell you that we want this kind of a track, tell them, no, we'll give you the track, you play cricket on it because you're talented guys, you've got the ability, you can win matches on any kind of surface, which I've been saying for the past 10, 12 years. And I think that mindset now is going to be very important. And after this victory, probably, the team management, the coach and the captain probably might stay away from the curator and, to advise him what kind of a surface they want to play on.
You're talking about Surya Yadav, that swagger that he has seems to run through this entire Indian team, and Hardik's another example.
They're all characters. If you talk to them individually, they're all characters. And that's very important. They're different characters, but they gel, which is very important. So, yes, I think Hardik Pandya is somebody who's, after that injury, a lot of people thought that he won't be able to play cricket for a long time. But can you imagine the kind of hard work that he must have put in? You can hear it when he's talking. Because when you worked hard, you've got that confidence. And when you talk, when you speak, you can feel it.
That's right. Hardik Pandya also one of those many contributors that you had in India's winning campaign. Of course, who'll forget the all-round contribution that he had in the semi-final versus England. That also ensured that one, India got to that massive total and then chipped in with the ball as well. That penultimate over that Hardik Pandya bowled. In fact, I could go on for hours if we discussed the individual performances of each of the players and how they contributed to India's victory here. But in all of this, we're getting to hear that, we were discussing who should be the player of the tournament. And Maninder was of the opinion that it should be Sanju Samson. So I'm guessing you'd be delighted to hear it is Sanju who has been officially picked as the player of the tournament. Many believe he deserves that as well. But before I get to Sanju, I want to talk about Jasprit Bumrah, because somewhere deep down, I wanted a Jasprit Bumrah to get that. He didn't get the man of the match last game in the semi-final. Many thought that he was the game changer, and overall as well, ends up as the second highest wicket taker. But is it fair to look at Jasprit Bumrah's contribution by just looking at the wickets column? Because what he does with the economy, and that too bowling in the toughest parts of the overs, what does that tell you what he brings to the table?
Oh, I think he's the leader of the pack as far as bowling is concerned. And the best thing about him is whenever the captain throws the ball up to him, he'll give his captain wickets. If he doesn't get wickets, then he'll make sure he doesn't give away too many runs so that there's pressure on the opposition batters, so that when his teammates, when his partners come to bowl, they start getting wickets. So this is what is special about him. And another example, I was talking about Hardik Pandya, how hard he must have worked after that back injury, back operation. I think same goes for Jasprit Bumrah as well, and keeps bowling with that same action, which must be having a lot of effect on his back. But can you imagine the kind of hard work these two boys must be putting in, to be on a cricket field, to stay fit, to stay strong. It's not very easy. But Jasprit Bumrah, he has been amazing. And I think a lot of credit for his success in international cricket should go to Ravi Shastri and Virat Kohli as well, because people used to think he's only a white ball bowler. He can only play white ball cricket, but they brought him into test match cricket, and see what he's done in test match cricket as well. So I think he's an amazing bowler. He's got that kind of an action where it doesn't become very easy for the batters to read him. And then he's got those slower deliveries. He's got that Yorker. He can bowl that Yorker at will. And that can only come with hard work. And the kind of hard work that he's put in to be playing for India, he's getting the results.
You look back at India's stunning performance. For a man, is it fair to say that Maninder is destiny's child? Because it was written, I guess, for him. Wasn't even part. Gets dropped, in fact, right before this tournament was to start. Somehow or the other, finds a spot into the Indian team. And the rest, as they say, is history.
Credit should go to the selectors as well. They kept backing him. Credit should go to Gautam Gambhir as well, because I've heard he kept saying he's a match winner. I want him in my side. And the selectors gave him Sanju Samson. So I think there's a lot of permutations and combinations here that Sanju Samson was there on this stage, at this stage, to win man of the tournament. And I think he deserves it. This is what he needs to do as well, because he's got a lot of chances to play for India, but that consistency was missing. But what we saw in the last 3 games, pressure games, the way he scored runs, the way he took India to victory, I think this is what we want to see more often from him, because we all know he's a class player. We all know he's got a lot of time like Rohit Sharma had. But it's only that consistency that is required, and I think this should give him a lot of confidence.
How do you, and that's the million-dollar question, how do you think that consistency was achieved? He's not changed his game technically at all. You know, you're right. He has that extra half a second in when he plays either the fast bowlers or how he tackles the spinner. Is it just a little bit of a mental tweak, or is it sometime when you were so close to playing, I'm sure he in his head thought that he will be part of the starting 11 because he was your first choice wicket-keeper batter. Right before the tournament, he doesn't have a good bilateral series, gets dropped. Do you think that sometimes gets you back on track, or do you think some slight mental adjustment you need to make to become consistent?
See, international cricket is all about where you are mentally. And I think being there mentally is very important. Being mentally very strong is very important. For that, you keep working on yourself. But there are times the coaches also work on you. Coaches also work with you. Like, you know, we were just talking about that Surya Kumar Yadav or Gautam Gambhir. If they're backing you, then you know that, you know, I've got somebody behind me. Even if I fail, I'm still going to get chances. And then you start playing your natural game. Mental strength, I'm sure he's mentally very strong. He's been playing IPL cricket for such a long time, playing first-class cricket for such a long time, performing consistently, pretty consistently, you know, in all those formats. But I think this should help him mentally as well. And knowing that the selectors are behind him, the coaches are behind him, should be a great help as well. So which will make him a lot more comfortable mentally.